Hi there, I'm your host Macaulay Tucker, and you're listening to The Macaulay Tucker Show, the podcast where I sit down with some of the most accomplished and fascinating individuals in the entertainment and business industry. From celebrities to industry leaders, our guests offer unique perspectives and inspiring stories that will educate and inform you. Join me as I sit down with my next guest to cover their humble beginnings, challenges they faced, as well as their accomplishments in life. You are bound to learn something new, so sit back and enjoy the interview. Today on the Macaulay Tucker Show, we had the opportunity to interview MikeManik, aka Kanye East. He went viral as a meme in around 2022 and since has become a successful rapper as well as a producer. In this interview, we sit down to break down his highs and his lows, and we really hope you enjoy this conversation. I believe that you were born and raised in the South Carolina area, and I do know that you lived in a very strict household, but you found a lot of peace in music and poetry. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of ask you, what's one specific song or poem or something that you discovered in your earlier years that kind of opened up this window to this big world that now you're working and living in?
Oh man, I'd have to tell you. So when I was little, I used to go to the library a lot, right?
Right.
And reading was my thing because we really had much else to do but to read or read comic books or read stories. So I would go into the library and I would pick up books, and I picked up this book of poetry, and I was reading through some of them. I can't remember which certain one, but I could tell you reading books of poetry is what inspired me, and so and especially some of the of my favorite ones were always like really emotional, really like things that deal with love or things that deal with pain. Those certain ones, they really click with me because that's the kind of poetry I started writing, things about love or things about pain, because I was where I always called it my prison with four walls because I couldn't leave it. So it was always about that, like wanting to leave, a bird flying away, anything to deal with getting away, like that's what the early years was about.
That's amazing. And you highlighted there something that happens with a lot of creatives, the emotional state that they're in, the current situation that they're in often reflects and seeps through the things that they consume or create. So for you, when it came to poetry and music, with the current situation that you were in, it seems to me that it would have come through with the work that you pursued. Poetry was a big part of my life. My father used to read a poem book. I forget the author's name, but it was a poem book, but it was accompanied with art. So it would kind of have some fun little kids poems. Sylvester Shell, what's his name? Shel Silverstein. He did a whole book called The Giving Tree, Light in the Attic. Just fun.
I remember The Giving Tree. I think I've read The Giving Tree.
Beautiful work. And so it's amazing that you were able to, despite the difficult situation, were able to find peace there. You talked about before high school and how there was you were being compared to Kanye West and stuff, and that can be very challenging. I've spoken with a lot of people who weren't in that situation but were actors. They were child actors that were in movies, and when people went to school with them, they were constantly thrown into that character. But with high school, what would you say was your first taste of freedom? Did you find your first taste of freedom in high school, or would you say you discovered that when you moved to New York with your uncle?
It would be when I moved to New York with my uncle. There was no freedom even in high school. After school, I would ride the bus, which would bring me right back home. So it was, and I did some things. I mean, we've all done some things, skip school, try to ride with our friends, or try to get away. So I did those things a couple of times, but I would always get in trouble. But you're a kid, you're trying to spread your wings,
Yeah. No, and
first taste of freedom is definitely in New York.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you were, during high school, you did want to experience that, as you mentioned there, getting out of school and stuff. But the real stuff comes when you moved with your uncle. And that's really cool because your uncle had a major impact on you. In fact, you actually, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you named your stage name in tribute of him. Maybe.
Oh, you did your research.
And
man.
So
you
that's
did your research, didn't you?
And that's one thing that I found that was really cool. And so I know he unfortunately passed on, but can you share a specific memory or lesson from your uncle that continues to inspire, music or your creative process?
So I don't think I've ever told like the whole story of my uncle. My uncle was actually the first person that introduced me to music because he actually had a hit single called "Don't You Try It" Raw. It's Raw, "Don't You Try It" if you ever want to listen to it. It's a really old school vibe. Actually, that was my uncle, both of my uncles. I had two uncles, and my cousin Ricky.
Wow.
My uncle Robert passed away before I got a chance to really get to know him, but it was always my Uncle Tyrone. My Uncle Tyrone was always the one outgoing, and he really inspired me because like he was also in my same situation, him being here and being stuck here, and he got away. And so and he got on and he did his own thing and he had his own everything. And it's just really inspiring to me, man. And but especially with the music, because he read my poetry. So he knew, that I could convert it into music because I used to write songs for church.
Hmm.
So he was like, "You're already doing it. You might as well just do it, you know." So he had the little Pro Tools or whatever. So that was like my first taste of like actually like seeing how music and stuff was done because he did it. So he
Wow.
was like that catalyst, man.
That's awesome. And I just looked it up. You said it was Raw. I believe it's RAWW. Don't try. Don't was it called? Don't you try it or don't try it? Because I think I found it.
Don't you try it?
Don't you try it? Okay,
Yeah,
1986.
three. Yes.
Wow. I think I found it here. And there's mastered by Herb Powers, producer Art Rob, Tyrone Martin, written by Tyrone Martin.
Yeah,
This is super
that's
cool.
that's him.
Whoa. And that's the only song I'm actually no. He was in what was this? It's a visual featuring Tyrone Martin. It's you. It's you. It's
I
you.
I I've never seen that.
Okay,
Can
he
you, can you show
was.
me? Can you show me that actually?
Yeah, actually, I will do that right now.
A little echo.
Tyrone Martin and Boy Jarvis. Yeah.
It's not you wanna dance, I'll make you dance. Say you wanna dance, I'll make you dance. Dance.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You better go.
Oh my God. I'm about to cry right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's him. That's him. That's him. He let me record my first song. It was called Dogwood. It was really horrible, but
Well, it sounds like he had such an amazing impact on your life. And I know when he passed away, it was very difficult, but I know that you stuck with New York and you actually went into the shelter system. I know you've spoken a bit about
yes.
that, but I was really curious, how did living in that environment shape your perspective on community and chasing kind of the dreams that you had? Were there any moments specifically during the shelter system that you were like, wow, this has helped me a lot?
Nah, man. I mean, shelter was like jail. I'm gonna just be real. The shelter was like jail, and all I wanted to do was get out. I was in the counselor's office every day, trying to, avidly. How can I get out of here faster? How can I get out of here faster? How can I get? They put me through programs. I was the librarian there. Like I anything that I could do. Because so if you stayed there long enough and you were showing that you really was trying to get out, you had a job and everything, they would get you an apartment,
Mhm.
an apartment. So that's just what my goal was, man. It was just to get out of there. I really didn't really dwell too much about being there. Like
No, it sounds like it was a transition period and it was kind of an area that you wanted to get out. And it was soon after that, in a way, I believe you were able to escape from that momentarily. I know you've touched
yes,
upon this briefly, but I thought this was very neat. I want to focus more on the good that came out of the situation. You worked with a little bit, you did some production, and you rubbed shoulders with DMX and his team. That must have been amazing, but also, of course, there was things that happened. But focusing on the good, what was a big takeaway from that? What did you learn? I mean, you talked about your uncle and his musical experience, and then experiencing this world. How did that layer anything that we're seeing and hearing now?
yes. So my uncle, I got a glimpse of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get the technical aspect or anything like that. Hanging out with these guys that actually did music, especially Niam Sum. I don't know if you caught any interviews where I said, Niam Sum was the one that really taught me something. Niam Sum was a protege of Dame Grease. Dame Grease was DMX's producer. So he kind of knew almost everything that Dame Grease knew. And me hanging out with him and Cash, which was DMX's sister, I learned through them, and it was just like a light clicked. I was like, I figured out it's so easy to do this. At first when my uncle was doing it, it seemed like it was it was difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like just a light clicked on, and then I just started doing it myself. I started with beats. I don't know how deep you delve, but there's a website called what is it? SoundCloud.
Yes.
SoundCloud, right? I have beats on there. Actually, under MikeManik, the same name, MikeManik Music. I have beats under there. Those were like my first like trying to do things myself, like making beats, and the rapping didn't come until like later on. It started off as beats.
Wow.
And then I, they were doing songs as the Killer Kids from Outer Space. I actually did a lot of beats for the Killer Kids from Outer Space. I did beats for Cash, so it was just all experience for me.
That's awesome.
And watching them do it, it just I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's easy. Like I watched them do it all the time. So I just started doing it. I made my stupid silly songs. After that was after I came back from New York, was when I bought equipment. I bought my own equipment. I started making my own music. I started doing my own thing. After that, and now awesome. From there to now,
That's so cool, man. No, and it's really good to have those influences. I've been doing music for a long time. Like you, I love the producing aspect, and I'm really drawn to the old school. I'll show it to you after our little call here. But it's really cool. Yeah. It's really cool to have those mentor figures. And even for me, I've had mentor figures that have been part of my life for a moment, but then kind of have gone their separate ways. And so it's always good to look at those relationships, look at those friendships, and see and ask yourself, how did they help me, despite the fact that they might not be here? It's so key. I know for you started exploring the YouTube world quite a bit. I think it was in 2020, maybe a bit earlier. But you were working at Arby's as a manager, and so I was really curious to ask. And this is maybe there might not be any connection, but is there any sort of connection between working as a manager and doing internet content? Any parallel? Any small things that you kind of see? I'm really curious to ask about.
I mean, maybe the discipline of not giving up and keep going, and reevaluating strategy, things like that. Maybe not too much of like inventory or anything like that, but just the dedication aspect. You got to be dedicated. Sometimes things happen. You might have to take a break, but as long as you come back and get back on that, stay dedicated.
No, it's a lot like that, and working in fast food, it helps you in many ways learn how to interact with people. I spoke with a young actor. Yeah, a young actor told me, he found talking to people in fast food really helped him become a better actor. It's amazing the parallels, and it's super cool, like reading about that in your experience, and that actually happened while things were kind of blowing up. You spoke about how some of your was it called? The coworkers kept talking about it. Is it true that you recorded your song while working there?
Yes. I was on my break actually, and everybody was just bugging me to like. I was just like on TikTok. They're like, please, we need a Fortnite Balls full song. I actually didn't know what Fortnite was. Like, I had to look it up, because I was all into like working. So I ain't really had much time to play too many games unless they were like mainstream games, like something that I really wanted to play. And Fortnite wasn't like on the radar or the list, so I had to like actually look it up, and then I was like, okay, do they have balls in Fortnite? And then I looked up balls in Fortnite. If you see the cover of Fortnite Balls, you'll see like 3 balls there. That was the picture that came up when I looked up Fortnite Balls. so just a little tidbit right there, man. But yeah, so I didn't know anything about it, so I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and just write this silly song and put as many Fortnite references, and and meme references as I can, like I did in the original Fortnite Balls that went viral.
Yeah.
Lil Mo. That's why Lil Mosey White. That's for real. I added all of that stuff. That was kind of like a mishmash. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I didn't expect it to blow up. I didn't expect it to blow up. Like, I didn't expect it. I expected it to be horrible and just to satiate the little,
Yeah.
the little click following. Oh my
Yeah.
God, was I wrong? Oh my God, 2 million streams later, I was wrong.
It's crazy. It always happens. I've spoke with several people that have had that. One of my good friends was doing if you know, Moist Critical. He did a Moist Critical Spanish version, and it blew up and sparked this whole thing of people making variant versions of Moist Critical, Spanish Moist Critical, Asian Moist Critical, and it was all because of that. And so it's what you do, like with that. It's just you don't control it. You throw the narrative there, and people either like it or they don't like it. You can't force it. You can't force it.
I've learned that lesson.
It's crazy. And I know it presented a lot, like when this happened, it presented a lot of challenges. And one thing that stood out to me was you spoke a bit about living in a tent on your family's property. Now, that seems to be a very low state, but it also seems very interesting because in a way it can maybe be seen as a humbling experience. How did that period influence your perspective on success, materialism, and the concept of home?
Let's do some things first.
Mm-hmm.
I was not broke in that tent. I was still making the same amount of money that I was making. The problem was I got evicted. Well, I didn't really get evicted. They didn't renew my lease. The landlord was trying to he's trying to extort me. I did this music video called Dirt to Cash. And in Dirt to Cash, I had a lot of money in the video. He saw the video. I guess, everybody in my complex kind of knew what was going on with the Kanye East thing. They saw me do the Sussy Sussy music video in the complex. So I should have been more quiet. I feel like that was my fault. So when I wouldn't pay the updated rate that he wanted, he was like, well, we're not going to renew your lease. And I was like, fine. Because I thought I'm making all of this money. I could go get another apartment. It won't bother me. Right? Not knowing that when I try to go apply for apartments, they do not take bank statements as proof of income. They're like, no, we need solid proof of income from a job. I didn't have that. All of my money was coming from online. So that's why I had to buy a tent and move in my parents' backyard. Because my mom and them didn't have any room. I was still with my ex-girlfriend at the time. She came and moved in the tent with me. That was right before that whole breakup debacle happened. And that's why I did that. I did the video. It was kind of like for fun. It was like goof. Yeah, I'm in a tent, but hey, I got AC, I got couches, I got a queen size bed, TV, internet, Wi-Fi. It was a joke. I didn't think that video was gonna blow up either, and that video went viral too, over 1 million views.
Wow.
So it was just the guy that did the first video, I did do an interview with him, Justical. But he left out a lot of the positive. He didn't talk about the DMX thing. He didn't talk about, none of the other stuff. He just made it seem like I had a downfall.
It's crazy. No, you can't do that in journalism. In journalism, you need to make sure you paint the full picture. You cover the highs and the lows. That's crazy that they would do that. But no, it sounds like the tent situation like that. It shows that you're adapting, that you're willing to go through those moments. And in the concept of home, like home is kind of everywhere, wherever your tent is, that's where your home is. And
right.
It's very,
you make it yours.
You make it yours. And what was really cool is soon after that, of course, things are even better. You just a little while ago had a song with Lil Wayne. One really cool thing was the MrBeast video. I watched that when that came out. In the corner, I'm like, that is him. I saw it. I'm like, that is Kanye. That there he is. And I'm like, but nobody was saying anything. And I'm like,
no. And I don't think they know who I am.
That's crazy. But yeah, tell me about that. I mean, you've shared the story a bit before, but did anybody there know who you were? What was that like?
No one knew who I was there. Only Ben knew who I was, really. I think they just So I got a call from Ben
Yeah.
in the middle of the night. I could talk about it now because
Sure.
that video's been gone. I got a call in the middle of the day from Ben. I'm walking in Walmart. He's like, "Hey, do you wanna adopt a dog?" And I'm gonna go to Ben's house because Ben lives like in North Carolina. We're right above each other. So like, he's like, "No, you're gonna adopt a dog for MrBeast." Oh, I was like, "Oh, cool, awesome, yeah, I'll definitely do that." When he was like, "The flight leaves in like 6 hours." I'm like, "What?" So literally had like 6 hours, get ready, get back, get on the plane to go all the way to Florida, right? And in the meantime, I'm picking dogs. Like they have lists of dogs, like, and so I'm already picking the dogs. Every time I pick a dog, they say the dog has been given away. Every time I pick a dog, they say the dog has been given away. So when I get there, right, in the video, they made it seem like I had already.
Yeah.
No, I came up to the dog. Oh, that's the dog that I want. I had already picked Dexter before I walked in there. I had already picked him, you know. And so it was. I guess they got to do the YouTube magic or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. So, but they hate the way they made it. The way they made it so dramaful was just looking at the video. But it was a fun experience, man. It was a real fun experience. But no, nobody knew who I was.
Oh, that's crazy. But also, it must be nice. It must be, in a way, be kind of nice to maybe have that because I know some people don't like it when they're constantly. But I don't know about you. I mean, I've never been in that situation before. But it must have been really cool to kind of be there and try that out and be involved in something big. Lil Wayne. I have a couple friends who do music that get and secure large collabs. How on earth? I don't know if you've told this before. How on earth did that happen? How on earth did that play out? Was the logistics of that incredibly hard? Because I do know these things have logistics. That must have been very, very like. What was that all about?
I'll start from the beginning. I don't know if you know who Half Deezy is or if you've seen him in some of my videos,
Okay.
but I met Half Deezy through my manager Maddie Flip. Him and Maddie Flip were friends, and he had connections with this guy in the industry. His name is M80. M80 sells these features from these major
Yeah.
artists, right? They're not cheap. They're in no way are they cheap. But I took a chance. So I bought
Yeah.
one of my favorite rappers. Lil Wayne
Yeah.
is one of my favorite rappers. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy the Lil Wayne verse. Nightmare. Let me tell you, legit. It's legit. We got the contracts. We got everything. We got the signatures. No one believes that it's real.
Yeah.
No one. I go on Spotify, iTunes, all of this. We go through months and months. Like I was supposed to release it on one date. It didn't come out till much later because of all the hoops I had to go through, especially because Lil Wayne had just sued a company for doing something like that, right? But
Yeah.
ours is legit. So we finally got the song through, but it was a headache. It was a headache. I also bought some more features, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna release that just yet.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm so pumped to hear how those go because it's so cool. I had a friend of mine do some features before. I'm like, that, how did you afford that? How did you
Oh,
get that? It's crazy. But he was dedicated and he secured a feature with some very large people, one very large guy. I will see if I can pull it up here. I don't know how he got it, man. I don't know how he did it, but he did it somehow. It was it might be he may have removed it, which is very odd. I don't know why he would do that, but anyway, he had a very, very large feature. But yeah, and this kind of transitions perfectly with oh yeah, no, it was with Rick Ross, which is the weirdest.
oh,
Like
Rick Ross, yeah.
I was like, how the heck did you get Rick Ross? He somehow got Rick Ross. I don't even know, but it's
Probably in probably
crazy.
in the exact probably in the exact same way. They are expensive though.
They are
They
pretty crazy.
oh my god.
You gotta like
You gotta
somehow
have
market
it.
it.
Save that bread.
Yeah, and you got and you got to market it too. I mean, like the minute you've got Little Wayne, like you have to go crazy with the marketing. It's you got to like not milk it, but you kind of got to milk it. You got to like somehow
Yeah.
you got to somehow push it.
See, I put my marketing out too early because I thought that
Oh,
I thought it was going to be released on the day, but it didn't. So it kind of messed everything up. But it's on everything now. Finally,
let's go.
finally, it's got over 800,000 views on Amazon Music
Wow.
streams. Sorry, yeah.
That's crazy. Are you one quick question? Are you able to do contractually? Are you able to do remixes? Probably not. I'm assuming contractually they can't do remixes. Dang.
No remixes. It has to be on a certain beat. Can't put it on any beat because I didn't buy that extra piece of So
Dang.
but it's still, the song still came out fire.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was a beautiful, beautiful song. And that kind of goes over the next question. You've got a lot, like what sort of, what you can tell, what sort of things can we expect from you this year, content wise? And what are you most excited for?
So I was supposed to release a EP this month.
Yeah.
Music, man, listen, it's so complicated. You have to make sure you clear all the beats. All the beats have to be cleared when you make projects. That was my mistake this time again. Trusting somebody that said that I could have a beat, and then when I come to them with I'm getting ready to release it, they've already sold the beat to someone else. So 2 of my songs off the EP I'm not going to be able to release. So that's why I'm working it right now. Y'all was supposed to get that this month. We're going to push for next month. I'm going to try to figure out what to do. But in November, I'm going to release my first full-length album ever.
So yeah.
That's look forward to that. Look forward to that because some of the songs are already done. I'm really, really happy with how everything's coming along with that, man.
Let's go, dude. I'm so excited. And here's one of my final questions. If you could pick any project that you could ever do and pick somebody to be a part of it, what would that project be and why? And how would you execute it? It could be music, short film, it could be anything, something that I haven't even thought of.
Music-wise, all right. So right now, I have this idea for this song called East versus West. And I want to get Kanye.
Dang.
Right? So M80 is in talks right now to try to get a Kanye verse.
No freaking way. No freaking.
If that happens,
no way.
That is what I want to happen. That is what I want to happen more than anything.
No way. Dude. But it's hard. It's hard to get in touch with him. It's freaking hard,
man. It's hard, but if he can get it, man, dream come true. The song is going to be called East versus West. If it ever happens, just know I'm going all in. It's going to be crazy.
Dude, but like the thing that I've always found challenging is, does he even have a team? I've done my research, man, and it's like his teams just disappear. Does this guy have no team? Is there like some sort of underground Kanye West team? I have no idea.
I think it's just him, man. I think he's like gotten rid of everybody, and that's just him in his own head, man. That's just
it's crazy.
Everybody online is like begging me, please be Kanye for us now. Like, be the Kanye, be the old Kanye.
That would be crazy.